Summer may have arrived a bit late on the JP server this year, but in exchange, it brings with it what is, in my opinion, one of the best casts of summer servants we've ever seen. Hello everyone, Soberoni of G&A Reviews here, and yes, surprisingly enough, we are talking JP. Now, as those of you who have followed the channel for a bit will know, I don't usually cover much JP content in videos. But recently, a lot of people have been asking me for more JP stuff, and I do play it as much as I play NA anyway, so I figured why not try my hand at a new video series. As you can guess by the title, this series is going to be a first impressions look at the newer servants as they release. Now, these videos aren't going to be as long and comprehensive as my Spotlight videos are, and don't worry, each of these servants will receive a Spotlight when they release in NA in 2 years, but the purpose of these videos is going to be to give a quick general impressions, some tips and tricks, and my thoughts on whether the new servants are worth rolling for or not. And if you are an NA exclusive player, then you can think of these videos as a preview of what you might want to save up for in the future. Now, I did a lot of playtesting with Summer Kama on stream over on Twitch, and I had a ton of fun with chat suggesting team comps and strategies to use, so if you want to be part of the community and join us for those streams, then be sure to check out that Twitch link in the description down below and follow us over there, because I'll be doing a lot of playtesting for the servants for the series over there in the future. But enough with the preamble, let's talk Kama. Kama makes her summer debut as a 5-star Avenger with a deck that is split between Quick and Arts and an Arts Noble Phantasm. Her first skill, Makara Floating, is an Arts buff with an Evade, while her second skill, Hollow Demon, buffs her NP damage and can inflict charm on all enemies. But her final skill, Mara in Midsummer Sea, is her most unique. It is a 50% NP battery that also gives her attacks the ability to inflict Heartfelt Blaze debuff on enemies, as well as deal increased damage against enemies with that debuff. Kama also has a few notable passives that grant her passive NP charge, crit damage, quick card effectiveness, and complete immunity to charm. As for her NP, it's an AoE arts attack that lowers enemy defense and deals additional damage to charmed enemies. Kama's strengths and gameplay style are fairly obvious. As an AoE art servant with a 50% NP battery, you should know that she makes for one hell of a farmer. You should also get immediate Space Ishtar vibes, because Kama's playstyle is almost exactly identical to hers. Both Space Ishtar and Kama are arts farmers that are capable of getting tremendous refund from their noble phantasms, both can loop very easily, and both even share the same class. And from playtesting with both Kama and Ishtar, I can say confidently that Kama is at least around the same level as Ishtar when it comes to looping consistency. But that's about where the similarities end. Make no mistake, Kama is her own servant and she has her own strengths. From what I've used of her, she not only makes for an excellent farmer, but also an excellent single target and AoE DPS as well. Her charm allows her Noble Phantasm to deal ridiculous damage to all enemies if it lands, and even against single units, Summer Kama can focus fire them using her Heartfelt Blaze debuff, which gives her upwards of 50% consistent bonus damage against a single target. However, as an Avenger, she does still suffer from a lack of class advantage in almost every situation, so she is extremely dependent on buffs. And I can testify that when her buffs are on cooldown, her damage tanks significantly. Also, continuing with the Space Ishtar comparison, while Ishtar trades some damage for extreme flexibility, Kama is fairly inflexible. She needs to be on an arts team with arts buffers who can accommodate her NP spamming. So obviously these standard NP arts batteries work best with Kama. Castoria, Paracelsus, Tamamo, etc. But if you want a quick tip, I do think that servants who can inflict charm consistently, like Uriel, are also a good match for her, since they can enable her bonus NP damage. And enabling that bonus NP damage is quite important, even when farming, because Kama is able to actually surpass Space Ishtar's NP damage if she attacks charmed enemies. This means that you should try to save Kama's charm for the 3rd wave when you're farming, since that is going to be the strongest one. Although unfortunately that also means that you're going to miss out on Kama's NP damage buff for the initial 2 waves. My theory is that this can potentially make Kama situationally better than Space Ishtar for nodes that have exceptionally strong 3rd waves, but how useful that is remains to be seen. We'll see how the meta flows over the next 2 years. But in any case, you're going to of course want to give Summer Kama craft essences that help her with farming, like Kaleidoscope or the brand new free-to-play craft essence Ocean Flyer. And if you have double Castoria, then Summer Kama is also capable of 3-turn looping even while holding a Black Grail. With all of that said, is Summer Kama Kama worth rolling for? Well, to those people of culture who appreciate fine art, the answer is simple. But even in terms of gameplay, I'd say yes as well. My initial impression is that Kama is one of the best arts farmers in all of FGO. And maybe I'm being a bit too overexcited, but I do think she is in the same league as Muramasa and Space Ishtar. That being said though, if you have Space Ishtar or Muramasa already, and you aren't fond of Kama, then she isn't offering you anything new that you don't already have in those other two servants. So far, I just kind of see her as a side grade to those two, but the meta is ever changing and Kama has only been out for 2 or 3 days, so who knows what place she'll be in a year or two down the line. I guess you'll just have to stay tuned for my servant spotlight to find out. And those are my initial thoughts on Summer Kama. But I'm curious to know what you all think, so let me know in the comments down below. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is the start of possibly a brand new series, and as the first video in a series, I imagine that it's pretty rough around the edges format-wise, so any feedback that you guys could provide me on how you'd like me to adjust the format going forward, or any stuff that you'd like to see me add, will be greatly appreciated. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you really enjoyed the video. Join the party over at our Discord, chill with us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter, all linked in the description down below. And I'll see you all in the next First Impressions video. Soberoni out. Later.